Hi all, let's have a look at another fascinating notable game from the new feature at chessgames.com, looking at the earliest notable games. And there was a game Smith, not very original for a British name, against François André Philidor. So Philidor was born on the 7th of September 1726 in Dreux, France. He was both a chess and musical prodigy. His first musical composition was actually played before King Louis XV when he was only 11 years old. He was taught chess by Commerce de Legal, who initially gave him rook odds until the young Philidor became too strong for his teacher. So you can see this is later from that other notable game we looked at recently. This is 1790. There's Philidor's legacies include the Philidor position, which is one of the most important fundamental endgame positions. There's a video on that on this channel. His name is also associated with a fundamental chess tactic known as Philidor's legacy, a smothered mating pattern which involves queen and knight. Okay, let's have a look at this game. And there's he was known for his phrase, the pawns are the soul of chess. And here you can see actually there's a kind of strategy of having pieces behind the pawns. He's playing with the black pieces. And watch how the pieces seem to be behind the pawns most of the time in this game. Well, except here, okay, the knight's in front of the pawn. But most of the time, we see d3 from Smith, c6, bishop g5, h6, kicking the bishop, or is it going to take? It takes, giving back that dark square bishop, knight c3, and now b5, so aggression with the pawns. And again, more aggression with the pawns, immediately threatening to win that bishop with a4. So white makes an escape square. Bishop c5. Yes, it is technically in front of the pawn, but knight f3, d6, queen d2, and now bishop e6, not minding if white wants the double pawns. That's going to strengthen central squares, surely, but white does actually take. He doesn't want to be saddled with double pawns here. So f takes. It also gives black nice comfortable f-file pressure. After castles, now we do see another aggressive pawn move here, g5. h3, knight d7, knight h2, as though knight g4 might be a concern. And the knight might actually come to the center, for example, but that's stopped with h5. g3. At the moment, f4 is not possible. It's pinned. There's a pinned pawn. There's no problems, but maybe the king wants to be able to use g2 soon. That's the idea. And then maybe f4. So we have actually a very interesting move, king e7, connecting the rooks kind of elegantly. King g2. And now d5. Interesting. Putting questions to white, like is d4 going to be played usefully at some point? We have f3. White dare not play f4 under these circumstances because black can always take and then use the g file. We have knight f8. The knight is rerouting, now coming to g6. Note that d4 is under control still from the queen and bishop, but here with c3 white now threatens potentially d4. Rook ag8. Black is ignoring that. White does play d4. The bishop just drops back here. D takes e5. We have queen takes e5. This does mean this diagonal is a little bit more exposed potentially for the white king. g3 and h2 could be targets if this bishop comes to create a battery here. After knight d4, there's a threat of knight takes c6, forking queen and king. The king comes to defend c6. Rook h e1. And now this looks annoying. E takes d5, hitting the queen. But black gets in this h4 just in time. So queen takes g3 is now threatened. Queen f2. But now bishop c7. Yeah, not minding e takes again. That looks really dangerous. Queen takes g3. So we have knight e2. I mean, there's also other possibilities as well, but knight e2, and here Black is puncturing some of these key dark squares after this. H takes G, weakening White's F4 square, and the knight is ready to go in there after Queen takes, Knight takes, Knight F4 check, and H3 is now dropping. King H1, Rook takes H3. Yes, this is a dismal position now for White. His king safety is compromised. The H file is a major road to try and mate the White king. And in fact, after Rook G1, can you see what Black did here? Rook G1, I guess, makes way for Knight G3 to F1 to try and hold the fort a little bit longer. But there's an elegant crashing through now. So Black to play. What would you play here if I give you 5 seconds starting from now? Okay, Rook takes H2 check. Yeah, crashing through is after the check. It's winning material. It's winning 2 knights at least if White has to play Knight H5, which he does because the knight's covering G2. But there's more to come here. Not, okay, there's, when I say not, I didn't say which move, but what is the best way to continue here? If I give you 5 seconds here, what would you play in this position? Or one of the better ways. Okay, he didn't play Rook H3 check because maybe King G4 and White survives a little bit longer. Instead, we see Knight H3 check, discover check. And perhaps best would have been, if White wants to continue the game, King G2, but White played King G4, and now Rook H4 is actually check and mate because the knight's holding G5. The king's got nowhere to run here. It's checkmate. This was quite a sweet game because a lot of Black's play did have a policy of using the pawns aggressively, pawns first to break through, break into key squares, and the pieces like supported all of the breakthroughs basically on the king side quite well. And the Black king was deliberately kept in the center. It was a fast way of connecting rooks. So quite a neat, elegant and sweet game, especially for 1790 when this game was apparently played in London. So I hope you got something from that. So Philidor, the pawns are the soul of chess, is one of his more famous quotations. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.